Jai students. So I welcome you all back to your chemistry class. In the previous class, we have discussed about the pH and its importance in our everyday life. Today, we are going to continue the same chapter, that is acid, bases and salts, and we are going to now talk about the next topic, and that is the salt. So in this picture, as you all can see, that there is a substance which has been shown, and I hope everyone would be able to easily identify what is the substance generally called as. So yes, as like most of you would answer salt, yes, we are going to talk about salt and the different classification and the types of salts and their formation in this particular video. So here, when we talk about the salt here, which is the most common salt which comes to your mind? It must be sodium chloride or the common salt, which is also called as table salt. It is very common to all of us, will come into our minds. But is that the only salt which is there, or there are other variety of salts which may find to be present in our everyday life, or to be which can be prepared also by different ways? So we will talk about the different varieties of salts in this video. This is something which we are going to talk about today, and that is the salt. Can anyone tell me what is the meaning of this particular picture which you are able to see on your screen? It is representing the heartbeat formation. So, is there any relationship between the salt which we consume with the different metabolic functions of our bodies? Yes, it is. You must have heard that we should be not eating an excess of salt, and it is always suggested by the doctors to eat an appropriate amount of salt in our diet. It should not be too high in its content nor be too low, because if you are going to take it in excessive amount, it might create certain problems with the functioning of certain organs, and especially the brain and the heart. So this is the picture which is representing the heartbeat, and very clearly we may understand that salt is something which is regulating the heartbeat and the other function of our body. So students, let us begin with the topic, that is family of salts. Now in this family of salts, we will be talking about different variety of salts. It is not only sodium chloride, that is NaCl. There are lot many other type of salts which have been categorized under different categories, and that is what we are calling as family of salts. But before we talk about the family of salts, let us first of all discuss about the process of the formation of salts, that what are the different ways by which we can find that the salts are formed. So as you all can see here, the topic is salts and their formation. And how can we define salts? That the salts are the ionic compounds consisting of two parts. One part carrying a positive charge, which is called as the positive ion or cation, and the other part which carries a negative charge is called as a negative ion or anion. So here what are you going to see, that a salt will be always possessing two different parts. One will be cation and another will be the anion. So here you will find there are a few of the general metal ion, and one of the exceptional case here is the ammonium ion. The most common exception is the ammonium ion, which can be represented by NH4 plus ion, and it is also an example of polyatomic ion. All these terms, cations, anions, have all been discussed with you in the previous classes. So I hope you understand the term polyatomic ion. The group of atoms carrying a common or charge will be called as a polyatomic ion. Just have a look on this particular table which is given here, which is indicating you the different common salts which you may see. The very first on the list is the sodium chloride, about which we have talked just now. Formula is NaCl. The positive ion is Na plus and the negative ion is Cl minus, that is the chloride ion. Similarly, there are others: sodium sulfate Na2SO4, sodium nitrate, that is NaNO3, potassium nitrate is KNO3, copper sulfate is CuSO4, zinc sulfate is ZnSO4, calcium carbonate is CaCO3, sodium carbonate is Na2CO3, calcium chloride is CaCl2, aluminium sulfate is Al2SO4 voltrise, and ammonium chloride is NH4Cl. So these are the few of the common salts which we have, along with their formula, their positive ion, that is cation, and the negative ion, which is the anion. So you should be knowing the formula writing also, which has been already dealt with you in class 9. So if still you are not clear with it, please practice it by writing the positive ion and the negative ion and just writing their crossover valency to get their formulas here. So children, now first of all, let's talk about the ways of formation of a salt. The very first and the common method is the process of neutralization, which has already been dealt in chapter number 1 as well as 2. So again, I'm repeating the same. Neutralization reaction is the reaction between an acid and a base to form salt and water. There are few of the examples which have been given over here. You can see sodium hydroxide undergoing reaction with hydrochloric acid forming sodium chloride plus water. Similarly, there are other bases and the acids which are reacting with each other, leading to the formation of a salt and the water. So you can see all these are the salts formation, and water is the common product in each case whenever there is a neutralization reaction. In the second case, you can see that if there is a reaction between a metal and an acid. So for the same, you can go through the video in which I have talked about the chemical properties of acids, where this has been dealt along with its mechanism. You will find the active metals react with acids forming salt, and the common product here is the hydrogen gas. So in this case, if you can see, zinc when undergoing reaction with sulfuric acid forms zinc sulfate, and when magnesium undergoes reaction with hydrochloric acid forms magnesium chloride. So this is a kind of displacement reaction which you can find here. The first one was the double displacement and the second one is the displacement reaction. Now let's see the third one, how it can be done. That by the action of acids on metal carbonates and bicarbonates. This is again something which I have dealt in the chemical properties of acids, where you will find there will be formation of water and carbon dioxide as a common product whenever a carbonate or a bicarbonate or hydrogen carbonate of a metal will undergo reaction with any acid. So there, in case calcium carbonate is reacting with hydrochloric acid, it is forming calcium chloride plus water and carbon dioxide. And when sodium hydrogen carbonate, or simply called as sodium bicarbonate and also called as baking soda, when it is undergoing reaction with hydrochloric acid forming sodium chloride plus water and carbon dioxide. Now there is one more method, although not so very common, but yes, we can always utilize this method for the formation of salt, and particularly zincate salt and aluminate salt. So this is again the same reaction which has already been dealt with you all in the chemical properties of acids. So if you would see the action of metals on alkalis, so metals like zinc and aluminium react with alkalis like sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide on heating to form salt and give out hydrogen gas. The example here is sodium hydroxide reacting with zinc upon heating leads to formation of sodium zincate salt plus hydrogen gas. Here you will find the positive ion cation is Na plus, that is sodium ion, and the negative ion is the zincate ion, which is represented as ZnO2 minus. This is again an example of polyatomic ion. So these are the 4 different methods by which you will be able to see we are able to form the salts, and the most common one amongst all is the process of neutralization. So this is the part of NCERT which you will find, although much detailing has not been done in NCERT regarding family of salts, but so as to understand this particular activity and the topic, you need to go through a thorough study of what I am going to discuss right now. So in this activity, you are supposed to write down the formula of all these given salts here, and then after you will you have to identify the acids and bases from which the above salts have been prepared. Now, salts having same positive or negative radicals are said to belong to a family. Like for example, sodium chloride and sodium sulfate belong to family of sodium salts. Similarly, sodium chloride and potassium chloride belong to the family of chloride salts. So how many families can you identify among the salts given in this activity? So once I will deal with this particular topic in more detail, I hope you will be able to do this particular classification and identification on your own. So students, just have a look on the statement here. Salts having common acidic or basic radicals are said to belong to the same family. Here radical means ions, with like sodium ion or chloride ion or sulfate ion, any of the ion. If two salts are having any common acidic or the basic radical, will be said to belong to a same family. For example, sodium chloride, that is NaCl, and calcium chloride CaCl2. Here the common radical is chloride ion, that is Cl minus, which means that it belongs to chloride family. Similarly, calcium chloride and calcium sulfate, here the common radical is calcium ion, so they will both belong to calcium family. Similarly, if you will look at the next example, zinc chloride and zinc sulfate, they have zinc radical as the common in both these, so therefore they will both belong to the zinc family. So this is how we are going to classify the different salts into different families here. Okay, so families of salts, there are two basic classification. The very first is the classification based upon the acids from which they are obtained. So the very first is the chloride salt. How will we get to understand that the given salt is belonging to the chloride family? So the salts which are formed by the reaction of hydrochloric acid with any base are called as chlorides. So you just need to see if there is any base and if or there is any of the other substance which will be reacting with hydrochloric acid and then it will form a salt, it will be called as chloride salt. So let's see few of the examples here in the given table. So the very first example you can see here, sodium chloride, potassium chloride, ammonium chloride, barium chloride, calcium chloride, magnesium chloride and aluminium chloride. So all these are the different examples of the salt. Here the bases involved are sodium hydroxide. In the second one it is potassium hydroxide. In ammonium chloride it is ammonium hydroxide. In the next barium chloride it is barium hydroxide or barium oxide. They both can undergo reaction with the hydrochloric acid and show you the reaction and lead to the formation of the given salt. Similarly, all these are the bases which can be involved in the formation of a particular salt. Similarly, if we talk about the next family of salt, it can be the nitrate. Now, when we talk about the nitrate, we will find the salt formation whenever there is a reaction of any base or any substance with nitric acid particularly, and that's why it is called as nitrates or nitrate family. So examples here you can see sodium nitrate, potassium nitrate, calcium nitrate and copper nitrate, and these are the different bases which are involved. You can always practice by writing the reaction between the acid, that is nitric acid, with these given bases and try to write down the reaction which are involved. The next category is the sulfate family. Now in this case, whenever the salt will be formed by the reaction of sulfuric acid, and that's why the name of the family is the sulfate. Examples you can see sodium sulfate, potassium sulfate, magnesium sulfate, calcium sulfate and copper sulfate. You can write more examples if you wish, and please practice by writing the reaction so that it becomes more easy and you need not to mug up all these reactions and the formula. Next, fourth one is the carbonate family. Here we will find the reaction will be involving the carbonic acid, and the salt will be formed because of the reaction between any base with the carbonic acid, and that's why they are called as the carbonates here. Here are few of the examples involved. You can see carbonates can be sodium carbonate, potassium carbonate, calcium carbonate, and the magnesium carbonate. So in all these examples you will find CO3 minus ion is common, which is the carbonate ion, and that's why they all are belonging to carbonate family. Now there are few more families of salts which are based upon the acids, as you all can see. The very first is phosphates, where the acid involved is phosphoric acid. Examples can be calcium phosphate, aluminium phosphate. Next is the oxalates, this which is involving the acid, that is oxalic acid. It is COOH whole twice. And here the examples you can see calcium oxalate and sodium oxalate. Similarly, we have the acetates, where it is the involvement of acetic acid, that is CS3COOH, and the examples of the same are sodium acetate and the calcium acetate. So, but just by knowing the common radicals between two or more given salts, you can always identify with which particular family they are belonging to. Now next is the classification, which is based on the bases from which the salts have been obtained. Let's see the examples here. Okay, this is the table which is showing you, that is, first is the sodium salts. The family is sodium salt, and the base which will be involved, will be the sodium hydroxide. Examples, as you all can see, it is sodium chloride, sodium nitrate, sodium sulfate, sodium carbonate, sodium acetate, sodium oxalate. All these are the examples of the sodium salt. Similarly, if there is an involvement of potassium hydroxide, it will be the potassium salt. Example can be potassium chloride, potassium nitrate, potassium sulfate, potassium bromide, and so on. Similarly, the next category is the ammonium salt, because of the presence of ammonium hydroxide base. Ammonium chloride, ammonium nitrate, ammonium sulfate, ammonium bromide are the few examples. Next is the magnesium salts, because of the magnesium hydroxide or magnesium oxide, and the examples are magnesium chloride, magnesium sulfate, magnesium carbonate, etc. Next, fifth is the calcium salts, where it will be the involvement of calcium hydroxide or calcium oxide, and the examples can be calcium chloride, calcium oxalate, calcium acetate, etc. Sixth is the example and the family is copper salt, and the base involved will be either copper hydroxide or copper oxide, and the examples can be copper sulfate, copper carbonate, copper chloride. So just by identifying their common radical, you will be able to put up them into the respective families here. So there are few pictures which you can see here, that they are showing you the particular salt. This is how barium sulfate looks like. Similarly, the next one is showing you the picture of zinc chloride, that is ZnCl2. How many of you are able to identify this particular salt? Yes, this is copper sulfate, which is also called as blue vitriol. This is ammonium chloride salt, white in color. This is calcium chloride, which you can see on the screen. This is the Epsom salt, which is also called as magnesium sulfate. So magnesium sulfate's common name can be given as Epsom salt. Now this is the picture which is representing and telling you about all the soluble salts which are given here along with the exception. As you all can see in the picture here, there are few of the salts which are given, which are the nitrate salt family, and they all are soluble salts. They all are written here. You can go through the examples, that is aluminium nitrate, barium nitrate, calcium nitrate, silver nitrate, iron 3 nitrate, lead nitrate, potassium nitrate, sodium nitrate, copper nitrate. Next picture is of all carbonate salts, and there are certain exceptions which are given. So all carbonate salts insoluble salt except sodium ion, potassium ion and the ammonium ion. So only these three salts are able to get solubilized and rest others are insoluble. So you can see all the insoluble salts, examples magnesium carbonate, calcium carbonate, silver carbonate, copper carbonate, zinc carbonate and the manganese carbonate. Now the next category is showing you the examples of sulfate salt and the chloride salts. You can see these are the soluble salts and exceptions are also given here. So all chloride soluble salts are silver chloride, lead chloride and mercury chloride. And similarly all sulfate soluble salts are lead sulfate, calcium sulfate and the barium sulfate. And exceptional cases for the chloride are lead chloride, silver chloride and the mercury chloride. All these are the exceptional cases here. That means except all these three salts which are shown in the picture, rest other salts of the sulfate and chloride will be soluble in water. Next is showing you the sodium salt, potassium salts and ammonium salts, which are the soluble salts. So all the salts of sodium, potassium and ammonium are the soluble salts. Few of the examples have been listed here on the picture. So now let's talk about that once the formation of the salts are completed. How about the pH value? So if you all remember what I have discussed regarding the pH, that the pH value varies from 0 to 14, which means if a salt is acidic in nature or basic in nature or neutral, there will be a particular pH which will be indicated. I hope by now you are clear that it is not only the sodium chloride which is considered to be neutral in nature. And why is it neutral in nature? By in next few minutes you will be able to understand why is it neutral. But it is not necessary that all the salts which we find are all neutral in nature. So yes, the salts can be acidic, basic or neutral. On what factor does it depend? It depends upon which acid or base are undergoing reaction to form this particular salt. So you can see here the pH of salts. Salt of a strong acid and a strong base are neutral with pH value of 7. On the other hand, salt of a strong acid and weak base are acidic with pH value less than 7. And then those of a strong base and weak acid are basic in nature with pH value more than 7. Let us understand this fact once again in more detail and more clearly. So if you would go through the this particular topic, that is the pH of salt solution. Basically, as I told you, neutralization reaction is something with which we are able to form the salt more commonly and easily. And the reverse reaction is also possible, in which a salt will react with water to give back the acid and base. And now in this case, it will be called as the salt hydrolysis. So we can perform the salt hydrolysis process by adding it to water. It's not simple method, but there are certain procedures about which we will be dealing in the next chapter. So salt hydrolysis is simply the process in which we are able to obtain back the parent acid and the base from which a particular salt has been formed. So the very first category you can see, depending upon the nature of acid and base reacting to form the acid or forming the salt, the nature of acid and base produced when the salt reacts with water, the salts can be classified into following four types. The very first is when salt, that is the salt of strong acid and strong base. So in this case you will find if the both acid and the base both are strong, so they will neutralize each other's effect completely, and because of which the solution or the salt which will be formed will be the one which will have a neutral nature. So the examples here which you can see: sodium chloride, sodium nitrate, sodium sulfate, so potassium chloride, all these are the examples of the strong neutral salts which are formed by the reaction between a strong acid and a strong base. You can write the reverse of the same as well, where you can see sodium hydroxide, which is a strong base, is reacting with hydrochloric acid, which is a strong acid, leading to formation of sodium chloride plus water. So the pH value comes out to be 7 here. In the second one you can see salt of strong acid and a weak base. So if a strong acid is reacting with the weak base, so the nature of the salt form will be acidic, because the acid is the stronger one and weak is the baser part. The base is the weaker part. So the salt's nature will come out to be acidic. The examples here: ammonium chloride, copper sulfate, aluminium chloride, zinc sulfate and barium chloride. If you would look at the example, ammonium hydroxide is reacting with hydrochloric acid. So it is forming ammonium chloride here and along with water. So that is how it is coming out as to be the acidic salt. And definitely if it is an acidic salt, its pH value will always be less than 7. Now the third category is the salt of weak acid and a strong base. Now here the nature of the salt will be, it will be basic in nature. It will be a basic salt. Why will it be a basic salt? Because here the acid is weak and the base is strong. So ultimately its basic part is more stronger, so the nature which will be more exhibited is the basic part. So the salt which will be formed will be basic in nature. So the examples here, as you can see, it's sodium carbonate Na2CO3, this is sodium bicarbonate NaHCO3, and this is sodium acetate, that is CS3COO Na, etc. Now these salts, which if you can see this reaction, dissolving in water produce a strong base and a weak acid. So this is how the carbonic acid, which is a weak acid, and sodium hydroxide, which is a strong base, are undergoing reaction. They will form a basic salt, which will be the as per the given acid or the base which you have used. And in this case, definitely the pH value will always be greater than 7, because its basic part is more stronger and the acidic part is the weaker part. Now the fourth category, if you could see here, the salt of weak acid and the weak base. So which means here that the weak acid and weak base are reacting with each other and leading to the formation of a neutral salt. So it will neither be acidic nor be basic, because they are completely neutralizing each other's effect. So in this case, the pH value will come out to be nearly 7. So in the case of the salt of strong acid and strong base, the pH was nearly 7, and in the case of weak acid and weak base, again the pH value will nearly be 7 only. So this was all about the pH of salt. You can very easily understand with the help of the acid or the base, that is the parent acid and the base with which these have been formed, and then after you can identify what is the nature of salt, whether it is acidic, basic or neutral. So I hope by now you must have got to know why sodium chloride is neutral, because sodium chloride is formed from the acid, that is hydrochloric acid, and the base, which is sodium hydroxide base. So they both are strong in nature. Hydrochloric acid is a strong acid and sodium hydroxide is a strong base. So they both are cancelling each other's effect and they are neutralizing both of them each other very properly and completely, and that's why the salt sodium chloride is neutral in nature. So today we have talked about the family of salts and the pH of salt. Please practice by writing it on your own so that you're able to be more clear about the topic. So that's all for today. Thank you so much. Take care.